Oh, I
Okay.
see the scheduling.
Hello.
Hello? What is popping jam sports nation? Dear God, that was a bad intro. Fuck the Cowboys, that's the intro.
Need some turtle
Um,
sex noises out of you, not gonna lie.
there's the turtles. So, this is the first time that Shaq is hosting it. We give him a round of applause. Yay!
Holy balls,
Um,
Batman.
what the fuck? So Alex's question of the week. We didn't do this the past like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, which dark horse team has the biggest chance to make the playoffs?
Out of teams that are like to make the playoffs or to like do
Yeah,
things
like
in the playoffs.
what team? I know we have like 2 weeks left, but like if it like what team that has a shot at the playoffs that if they made the playoffs or the team that has made the playoffs, what team would make the most noise? Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean with that?
You know what?
So I can
I'm gonna say the Chargers
okay,
because
okay.
they
I like
finally
them.
they finally made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have like Herbert when he's on his game is up there in that like elite tier of quarterbacks where like if he's really on his game, he can just win a game
Mhm.
on his own regardless of what his teammates do.
This is true.
So like you get an unreal stretch like Burrow had last year and suddenly the Chargers are like in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Losing to the 49ers. So I have
Hey now.
two.
I didn't say
One
that.
of them, one of them is a funny one. The second one is my actual pick. My funny one is the New York Giants because I believe that Daniel Jones, if they make the playoffs, is going to turn into prime Eli Manning and destroy everybody in his path.
I mean,
Realistically, that's not going to happen. But I really just because right now the Niners are going to play the Giants in the playoffs, and
hey,
if Daniel
I'm
Jones turns into probably, I'd be like, we're losing the game,
I'm
and I
I'm
don't
putting
want
it
that
out
to
there.
happen.
If the Giants beat the Colts on Sunday,
Okay.
which they are the Colts, but like, you know,
Yep.
never know. The
Yeah.
Giants are locked into the 6th seed.
Oh my God, that'd be freaking. Wait, that could be good or bad.
So you would just need the
That could
Vikings
be good.
to not choke, right?
Yeah, we because the Niners hold the tiebreaker.
Yeah. So you
So
need
as
to
long as the
stay.
Vikings don't lose a game, we're good.
Okay.
As long as they don't
Well,
lose the
right now the
game.
Vikings have a one-loss lead, right? Oh yeah, because the
Yeah.
Niners have the tiebreaker. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So I just want to know who are they playing? They're playing the Packers, and I think the Packers playoff hopes are going to end. And they're playing the Bears.
I mean, they're gonna beat the Bears.
They're going to beat the
The
Bears.
Bears are so
So
bad.
the real thing is, I think they're going to beat. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna choke.
Also, who do the Niners play the next 2 weeks? Maybe they rest people
Raiders,
or something.
Raiders, Cardinals.
Oh no, yep, nope.
Oh, and by the way, Kyle's already said he's not resting anybody
Yeah, that's fair.
because he wants the guys to be red hot going into the playoffs. So
Neither
there's that.
strategy actually works any better than the other, which is the funny thing about it.
Yeah,
Like
like
resting players doesn't work or not work. Like it doesn't really make a
yeah,
difference. It just helps
it really
prevent injuries theoretically.
yeah. But here's the thing though, it's like with the Niners quarterback thing, I think any quarterback could play good. I think Zach Wilson could play mediocre with us. Like I'm gonna be dead honest. Like if Zach Wilson, like he was picked number two for a reason, right? Maybe the wrong reasons, but like I don't think he'd be that bad with us. Like because the Shanahan system's just hand the ball off, hand the ball off, hand the ball off, throw to somebody that's wide open because the play action just killed the defense.
It
Like you know
is
what I mean?
it is the most quarterback friendly system in the league. You are not wrong.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
at the same
Um,
time, Zach Wilson is like the second worst quarterback we've seen in the last like decade. So
This is true. This is this is true. Um, so let's go over our prediction recap. Oh wait, I forgot to say my actual pick. My
That
actual pick
wasn't
is the
your actual
Jag.
pick? Okay.
My actual pick is the Jaguars because Jeffrey Lawrence is looking dangerous. Like, bro,
I'm I'm
I
just gonna put it out there. I think the Giants could be an
yeah.
actual pick because don't
Oh,
forget that their
100%.
their two most important defensive players are both hurt with a
Hmm.
chance to come back soon.
Yeah.
Like they have a true number
So,
one corner who was limited in practice today and might play on Sunday. If he's back and
hmm
healthy, that defense is worlds better than it's been the last like 6 weeks.
yeah. So the
And
only
Xavier
reason why
McKinney
I
might come
said
back too.
okay,
And
that'd be
then
good as
the
well.
offense has
So
only been getting better. They've been passing the ball more, which is good for them because they're actually much better passing the ball than running the ball. Um,
okay,
so like against the Vikings, I mean, Daniel Jones had himself a game. Like he was really
yeah.
good.
What was it like 24,
Hmm?
20, 24 points each, 27,
I
28.
think it ended up being 27-24.
Yeah, but like before the game winner, it was like 24
24,
points.
yeah.
Yeah,
But still,
that's a decent.
he was what, I think 30 of 42 for 334 yards,
Yeah.
one
Okay.
touchdown and one pick.
Yeah. So the only reason why I have the Giants as my funny pick is because most likely if they win a game, they're going to be playing the Niners.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm going to be honest, the only team I'm scared of in the NFC, not even scared, like I'm not scared of the Eagles, but like it's going to be a good game. Like we're either going,
The Eagles are a juggernaut.
but here's the thing, so are the Niners. Like I don't know. Like I feel like if Bosa's playing, we have a shot. Like our offense is efficient.
I mean,
Like our defense is really, really, really good. Rushing the passer, we're good. Like I think, yeah,
if I'm pretty much any other fan though, like I'm not exactly comfortable playing like the Giants because things just happen to other teams when they play the Giants.
that's dude. You
Like
saw 2007,
besides the
2011.
Eagles game where the Giants made
Hmm.
like a lot of mistakes on top of the Eagles just being the Eagles,
Hmm.
every game has been close. At least
Yeah,
like to a point. I mean, the Seahawks and Lions games both ended up the score didn't look that close, but that was because of late turnovers by
that's
the
true.
Giants when they were looking to tie the game or take the lead.
That's true.
Like no matter who they've played, like they've beat playoff teams and they've played
Yeah.
other teams very close. Like the Vikings right now hold the 2 seed and they probably were the better team throughout that game,
Okay.
which is strange. Like every time they play, like I think it's partially the defensive scheme and partially just playing kind of clean, but like no matter who they play, that other team kind of plays down to their level.
Yeah.
Like they aren't
I
able to
think.
execute what they want to execute.
Yeah. I think that's good for playoff time. So let's get a prediction recap.
Yes,
The
sir.
first five for you, you got right. The first
7.
s- for me, I got right, which I thought that was pretty cool. I could have got one other one right, and I would have tied Jack's. Jack got one more right than me. Um,
Yeah, eat that.
so there's that. But let's just talk about it. Let's go over the recap, and then we'll talk about our individual games. Jags, yeah,
Yeah. That yep. The cool thing
yeah,
though is that we might talk about later, but
yeah,
suddenly the Jags are in business.
yeah. Like,
Ain't that
some
some
of the
shit?
lyrics.
Man, the South, huh?
Yeah, the South is garbage. So both the Souths are garbage.
Yeah.
Um, the Ravens, that was a lock, though that game was closer than I would like. But like, it's
That
just
was just a sad, sad game.
yeah, that was a depressing game. Very, very depressing.
Anyway, opposite of depressing. Panthers over the Lions? That was incredible. I'm pretty sure
Um,
I only picked them as a joke because I was picking the whole like the Giants playoff setup, which involved the
yeah,
Lions losing, and then the Panthers
yeah,
just like blew them out. They dropped
yeah.
300 rushing yards and like what 34 points on the Lions?
37 points,
37.
320 rushing yards total.
Oh my god.
That was nasty, bro. Doing the
I
rushes
I had
like
score
120.
notifications on while I was watching the Giants Vikings game, and I swear every time I looked down the Panthers scored again. And I was loving life.
Yeah, dude, that Lions offense, like, bro, it was
They're
really good.
they're
Just
something.
long died out of nowhere.
Well, it died earlier in the year too. Like they've just been who knows.
That's true. The Chiefs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw this.
Yep.
What's
Hey, you want to know a fun fact?
up?
The Seahawks are actually underdogs next week or this week against the Jets. The Mike White Jets are favored over
Dolphins.
the Seahawks right now.
Wait, who's playing quarterback for the Mike White?
Mike White.
Yeah, let's see. Who did I
Like
pick? Did I
I
pick?
I know that the Seahawks have been free falling, but to favor the Jets with the way the Jets have been free falling is asinine.
Yeah.
Like how do you do that? But you know what?
You
I am not the one putting the money on the Jets, so I
both
wouldn't know.
teams have taken a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one more from the other because one of them had a shit ton of injuries to their defense, aka the Giants. The Jets though have Zach Wilson at quarterback for a bit, and he is garbage.
Well, the
Um,
Giants, the injuries weren't just the defense. The injuries just caught up to them overall. I mean, they lost
that's
every receiver, and eventually, like, they got a few weeks of good production, and then starting in the Jaguars game, then the receivers being practice squad guys caught up to them too. Like, a lot of
yeah.
drops, a lot of mistakes, a lot of nasty stuff.
I mean, you guys are hopefully we'll get one of these Colts and clinch the 6 seed. Niners Giants playoff game. I'm going to be excited for that. Sadly, it wouldn't be in what's it called at Meadowlands because then I would probably go to that game.
Yeah,
I
that'd be a
would
good time.
pay. I'd pay for your ticket if it was at the Meadowlands. We'd both be going. Like, gonna be honest. Um,
Can
Dalton.
you
What?
hear a trumpet in the background?
No,
Okay, good. Carry on.
Dalton. Wait, you're at home. Never mind. It's not Dalton.
Yeah,
Stupid. Okay. Well,
but I couldn't get a very
trumpet.
good space, so I have to deal.
Saints won. Good job, Dalton.
Yeah, as they should.
Um,
You know, don't let the Browns win ever again. And they got eliminated, right? The Browns.
yes,
Good stuff.
thankfully. This is why you should have kept Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. You poverty ass franchise,
Like
or
actually
Baker.
though.
Kept Baker because Baker's playing damn good right now. Like, I'm sorry, Browns, you royal. Like,
MVP.
you
I
are
can't
going,
wait to get his card in Mutt.
bro. Dude. Oh God. He should, dude. He needs to get another team of the week card. I'm dead serious. Bengals over Pats. Basically the Bengals like dominated the Pats, except for a couple stupid mistakes by the Bengals defense.
Well, you know, the Pats almost came back and then they made
Literally, it wasn't for the defense playing like straight garbage in the second half. That game wouldn't have been close.
Okay, but you could have said that about like Vikings Colts last week. Like at
Understood,
some
but
point
like
the other team that comes back deserves some credit.
throws it in a triple coverage and the receiver comes down with it, even though the ball was like underthrown. It was
It
like,
sounds like Taylor Heineke's whole career.
he had that one good game versus Tom Brady, and everyone thinks he's a guy.
Even then it wasn't a
Um,
good game.
it wasn't, but like coming in like a week's notice or whatever the hell it was, like that was pretty cool. Kind of good. Vikings, Giants, depressing.
Yeah.
Depressing.
I was so
Bills.
I was expecting Vikings Giants like realistically to be
Yeah.
kind of not fun because Justin Jefferson versus I don't know the fucking
Gonna hold it to third.
an FCS level secondary
Dude,
was
you should have been worried about Jefferson. You should have been worried about TJ Hawkinson, bro.
I'm I'm fine giving up like what Hawkinson got to Hawkinson.
13 receptions, 109 yards, and two touchdowns. You're okay with giving up two touchdowns? That
Yeah, I
lost you
mean
the
they were
game.
both like in shorter field situations. Like I'd trade that for Justin Jefferson burning the defense like 3 times any
Yeah,
day.
but then
I'd take a bunch of
they,
short like that was Hawkinson getting that many receptions and Jefferson having a not a giant game was objectively a success. Because the
short.
secondary is so bad that anytime Jefferson isn't targeted 20 yards downfield is a win.
Yeah, I
And
mean, 1,233 yards and a touchdown is a decent game for him. So
yeah, but it's not a generational game. And against that secondary, he could have probably been triple teamed and it wouldn't have made a difference.
that's true. That
And clearly allowing Hawkinson to do what he did and pulling those targets away from, more of a burner, more of a guy who would be targeted deep, ended up working
Mhm.
out. I mean, the defense did everything they could to win that game. They just forgot that they were the Giants, and so a 61-yard field goal is guaranteed.
Well, I mean, it's between the Giants and the Lions because like
No,
the Giants,
the
the
teams
Giants.
against the Giants, 60 plus yards to win the game. Other teams are 3
Yeah.
for 3. Against every other NFL team combined, 2 for 15. And the Lions were one of those, and that one was Justin Tucker.
No, understood, but I'm talking about like late game like collapses by the Lions. Like
That wasn't a late game collapse. That was just a long ass field goal.
I'm not saying the Giants late game collapse. I'm saying like the Lions seem to lose in really stupid ways, and the Giants lost in a sadly stupid way
I mean,
from a
I
six.
don't I don't think it was stupid. It was just unlucky.
Because like if they like I don't know. You know what the Giants need to do? They need to like have a wind machine. And every single time the opposing kicker is kicking a 60 plus yarder, they need to just turn on the wind machine.
I mean, this was in a dome in Minnesota,
Okay, so install a wind machine inside the dome
inside
for
the other
your
team's stadium.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like sneak it or like
Oh,
have
there's
like
so much noise
or
in the
have
background. I'm so sorry.
or have the people blow like the horn, have people blow on the ball midair.
What
You
a
know what I mean? Like have
brilliant idea.
Yep, there's my idea. All right. Bills, Bears. Obviously the Bills won. That wasn't even a question. Gonna be honest,
It was closer than it should have been for like the first half.
I mean they held Justin Fields to like 7 rushes, 11 yards.
Yeah, well, that's what
Not
happens when he
bad.
faces a real defense.
That is true. Um,
People really
one
got
thing I
hyped over him playing like the Falcons or some shit.
with the Packers.
Well,
Pack.
Packers defense was horrible for most of the year.
Uh, fun. Texans beat the Titans. Let's go Texans. Fuck the Titans.
I
Jags
still
on.
not sure what happened there. Like
Davis Mills.
it's Derrick Henry against the Texans. He runs for 200 yards every time they play.
He ran for 23 carries, 126 yards, and a touchdown.
That's not 200. What happened? That clearly was another team dressed as the Texans.
It's rigged. The game is rigged. The game was rigged for the Texans to win. Oh God, that's just depressing. Um, Derek, you were the sole reason your team lost. You did not rush for 200 yards. Uh,
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. How could you? But good for the Jack. Niners whoop the Commanders. The game really wasn't close. It was still a 17-point win, but like realistically, the game like we settled on like 3 field goals in a row off of like 2 turnovers and a punt. So like we couldn't score on them in the second half, but like we still scored. 30 points in the second half.
The
But like,
Commanders are a better team than given credit for when Heineke is playing quarterback. When Wentz is
your
playing
de-
quarterback,
well, you know what's funny? Once on the singular or like one of the few drives he played, scored a touchdown.
yep, that's what he'll
And
do. He'll
then,
come in for one game and look good, and then earn himself another contract.
then Ron Rivera proceeded to bench Heineke after his pick.
Yep. Well, coming into the game, they said that that would happen. If Heineke
Yeah.
struggled, Wentz was coming back in.
So Ray McLeod, 1 carry, 71 yards. I'm not gonna talk
Yes,
about hold on. We have our own time slot for this. All right, next game. Cowboys Eagles game of the fucking week, baby. The Eagles finally lost.
Minshew mania.
It's
No.
fantastic.
I mean, with Hurts
Just,
out, I don't think the Eagles expected to win that game.
I don't think that. Well, I think on Twitter they certainly did because they were talking the utmost shit. And then they got humbled. I'm happy for
Well,
Scooter though, because
keep in
we're
mind,
not gonna.
Cowboys fans were in rare form during that Cooper Rush game earlier in the year. They
This is
talked
true.
unbelievable amounts of shit about how close the game was with a backup quarterback, even though they still lost, and continued to talk all that shit for months. Like as a third party observer, I could tell you that Cowboys fans were the worst of the two in
Oh
that matchup.
yeah, Cowboys fans are normally the worst out of like every fan in sports history. So, you know, Steelers Raiders, Jack called it.
Dude,
Um,
I feel to a T.
yeah, the defense plays amazing and the offense will do good enough to win. Oh God.
And like late game heroics, like that Cam Sutton interception at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was funny.
Uh,
God damn.
Acrisure was
Also,
so
uh,
loud for how empty it was by the end of that game. Because that was like the second
I,
coldest home game ever.
Jack, by the way, you guys also like ended Derek Carr's tenure in
Yep,
Los. Like he's done. Like
he
it's
got
come
Cam
out.
Suttoned.
Yeah, the Josh McDaniels came out and said that Jared Stidham is
Yep,
their quarterback.
and
So
Carr's away
expect
from the team.
so expect 15 sacks from the 49ers next week. Um,
Carr really got Marioted.
yeah, that's just sad. Um, First off, Packers Dolphins. Can we just have a moment of silence for two as like third or fourth concussion this season?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't play again.
Yeah, I
Like for
really
his sake.
like I don't know if this is on the coaching staff or the medical staff or the owner or all three or just like I don't.
At
How does this keep?
at some
How?
point, how is it not on the league either? Like, don't they have a guy now whose sole job is to watch for possible concussions?
Yeah, like
How is this
I'm
not
gonna be.
noticed during the game?
Yeah, like he may not have been stumbling, but 317 in the first half
But
after
you
it
could
after
you watch back that clip of his head hitting the turf, and like,
that, dude,
there's no way he shouldn't have been evaluated after that.
no, I think was he not evaluated? I didn't watch the game, but was he not evaluated?
No. Like the fact that he was concussed was like a shock after the game.
Bro, how are you, dude, like fell on his head. Like
Did he
no,
like did he self-report the symptoms too? Like afterwards?
I don't know.
I think he might have, which is
All I
nuts.
that Dolphins medical staff and everybody on the Dolphins needs to
Well,
get fired.
NFL, it's during a game. You have a person there whose sole job it is to
That's-
watch for stuff like that, and you miss it?
Yeah, no.
It's a
And that
quarterback too. It's not like it's a receiver or something where you have an excuse. It is a
yeah,
quarterback on a sack.
is the most important player on the team and the guy that would have led them to a playoff berth or at least a higher seed than the 7 seed
And of course,
if it
all three
were
picks were
these.
after it, right?
Yeah, all three picks came in the fourth, and the
God damn
concussion
it.
happened. Um,
Oh
yeah,
well.
the poor management of the Dolphins and NFL clear like handed them a loss, and
The the Packers and Buccaneers playoff, you know, convenient storyline marches on.
yeah, fucking hell. Broncos Rams.
That was That was ugly, but it was fun ugly.
Yeah, like it was.
Broncos
I really love
fighting, Baker cooking. Lovely.
it. Baker had 24. Baker missed 4 passes the entire fucking game,
Yeah, he was kind of
and
he's kind of nice out
um,
there.
Cam Akers had a fucking day. Do with that as you must. And also Higby. Higby is the only other tight end that had a great. Actually, no, because Hawkinson. But none of them lived up to George Kittle, so they can go fuck themselves. Buccaneers Cardinals. I wanted the Cardinals to win. Basically, the NFC South is now down to week 17.
Yes.
Yep, Panthers Bucks. It's now down to that one game. So fun. Um, Yeah, Tom didn't really play the best. One touchdown, 2 interceptions. Did throw for 281 yards, but
Throw it on a dime.
Chase McSorley did not.
Dude, it's because he's wearing
He,
number 19.
that's true.
Fix that.
If Chase McSorley was running the correct number, he would have thrown for 9,000 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Exactly.
1,952 yards and 100 touchdowns. Uh,
Exactly.
and Chargers Colts.
That was
Herbert
sad. I don't even want to talk about that one.
had good yard game, just not a good touchdown. I don't know.
He played well after like the first couple drives. He had a
No, yeah, he played,
he had
but
a good game.
no, I know that, but like stat wise, he had a good game. He had 235 yards, but he had 0 touchdowns and an interception. So like,
Well, yeah, Eckler scored both touchdowns because both times they got like
honest,
close to the goal line, and they just ran it in with Eckler. Like once they got close to the red zone, they just like kept running the ball. But that's not
also,
on Herbert. That's just on the OC.
okay, so also Big Dick Nick is only good in the playoffs, confirmed.
He's yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I won't speak
sad,
on that matter.
sad world. You can't speak on the matter because Eli Manning was way better in playoffs than he was. Wait, do
I
you
don't think
know
that's
the?
necessarily true. He was
I think
really good in the 2011 regular season. Like,
maybe in
yes,
2000
he had two very good statistical playoff runs, but you can't
yeah,
sit here and tell me that he wasn't also very good in the regular season.
was, but he played way better in the. I feel like he played
I think that's
more
just a
elite.
product of the way that people remember him and the way that
This is
people
true.
like to, you know, how people like to think of the Giants. I think
I
people
like
need
to
to give
think,
Eli Manning the credit he deserves.
dude, Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, but like
I'd take him over
he,
Philip Rivers in the regular season any day.
mm, I mean, Philip Rivers did have the number one offense at some point.
Yeah, but he also look at his surrounding cast.
Antonio Gates,
LaDainian
uh,
Tomlinson.
and now Damian Tomlinson. Did he have Vincent Jackson?
I believe so.
I think, uh, yeah, he is way better. Yeah, but you look at Beckham Jr. and he had Amani Toomer and he had,
Yeah,
uh,
Eli had Odell for like 2 years.
yeah,
And
Eli
Odell was better with Eli than he was with any other quarterback he played with. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, he was really good with Matthew Stafford, just not
I
as good as he was with the
I
mostly because
think you're really good is not top 3 receiver though. Like Odell
no,
was
no,
in the conversation for best receiver in the league playing with
after he
Eli.
was a step, you know what I mean. Also, like I feel like Eli Manning did like force him the ball sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, Eli
But I
played better when Odell was out. That is an objective truth of the end of Eli's career.
know what's funny? So did Baker Mayfield. And all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the games real quick. Uh, G-Men, Steelers, Jack. Let's go.
Okay. The Giants, they lost. But there is hope. This is the 2 seed. This is a team whose only losses were, primetime Kirk, a game against the Lions, and what was the other one? Did they have another one? I forget.
What was it? What are we looking at?
Vikings losing games. I
Let me
think
check.
I think they'd lost two coming in, right?
They lost 3 or 4. No,
Well, no,
hold
I
on.
meant like two in a row.
Yeah, they lost. No, they
Oh, was
beat the
it
Colts.
one in between? Oh, it was the Cowboys 40-3. That's what it was. I forgot that it
They lost,
was. I forgot the Colts game was the whole thing.
lost to
I
the
mean, they lost to
Eagles.
the Eagles on prime time. They got blown out by the Cowboys, and they lost to the Lions in what I can only describe as a trap game. Like this
Getting
is
forgive
what?
Game ahead of the Niners. I keep forgetting that we're not even slated. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're game ahead of
that's
them.
part of what's tripping me up.
Yeah,
Um,
because they're by far a better team, but we're 1 game behind.
well, don't
We
lose
just
to the Falcons and the Bears or whatever.
uh, calm down, shush. It was early season,
It's
and
not
we were
hard to
finding our
not lose to the Bears. I'm just putting that out there.
we were finding our form ever since we got McCaffrey, and he's been playing every game, and he knows the playbook. We've gone undefeated, so let's
Anyway,
calm down. Calm down.
um, but the Vikings are a playoff team. They're the likely two seed, and
Yep.
it to be toe to toe to look like the better team across a game, despite battling significant injuries. For Daniel
Yeah.
Jones to look as good as he did, for Saquon to go back to looking kind of like the Saquon of the beginning of the season instead of the
Yeah.
Saquon of the middle of the season that was kind of ineffective. Like those are all really good signs approaching the playoffs, and this is a team that even though they lost, every other team that they needed to lose lost. So now going into Sunday, they either if they beat the Colts, they lock in the 6th seed. If like I think 2 or 3, it might be 3 now with the Packers, but if 2 or 3 of Detroit, Seattle, Washington and Green Bay lose, it's 2 or 3 depending on which specific 2 or 3. Um but if 2
It
or 3 of
also,
those lose, the Giants don't even
the
have to win another game to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm also gonna throw this out there. The Bucks are technically also in them. I get they're the top of their division right now, but if they lose to
They're
the
not
Panthers and
they're not in the wild card race though.
no, but like if they were to lose to the Panthers and the Lions, Packers, Seahawks, and
No, cuz
Giants lose,
the Bucks already have 8 losses, right?
yes, but so do the Lions, the Packers, the Seahawks.
I mean,
But
yeah, but that would
but I'm
involve if they lose to the Panthers, then they have 9 losses.
understood, but I'm saying if the Packers, Lions, Seahawks lose, along with the never mind, I'll
It
just
it doesn't affect the Giants' playoff chances. That's the reason
correct.
I
Well,
didn't mention them.
if the Giants lose out and the Seahawks lose one, win one, along with the Lions, Packers, and Bucks, and the Panthers win,
If the Seahawks, Lions, and Packers lose one more game each the rest of the year, the Giants are in. And I think
there's 2 weeks.
it might be Seattle and Washington for the two team combo.
If the Giants have the tiebreaker,
No. They do
there are
against
2.
Washington. They don't against Seattle or Detroit.
You're gonna be 500. Well, there's an uneven amount of
That's
games
yes. So the
that
Giants would be 8-8-1. So the Lions or Seahawks need to lose a ninth game, I believe.
that tie is coming in clutch.
No, actually, it very much so. Is it as good as
Because
a
that,
win? No, but it's close.
but it just means that there's not another loss on your record, which means
Yeah,
that you would have.
which is huge.
That's not, dude. Your entire division might be the first division to make the playoffs.
No, actually, I mean the
Like,
Commanders play who? The Browns and probably the Cowboys. But it's probably a
um,
Cowboys team with nothing to play for, having locked in the 5 seed.
it's the Cowboy. Yeah, Browns,
Because if
Cowboys.
the Eagles beat the Saints this week, the Eagles win the division.
Yeah. Still,
So
Part of me wants to play the Giants, but part of me wants to kind of take the one seed from them. Like, you know what I mean?
You, how would you take the one seed from the Eagles? They lose out.
Yeah, they lose out. Vikings lose out. We take the one seed.
You have the
I
tiebreaker on the Eagles.
I believe so. Yeah,
That feels wrong to me.
Eagles, Niners tiebreak. Hold up, I'm looking it up. Hold up, I'm reading something.
Because what's the tiebreaker criteria?
Hold up. Let me look. Uh, can the Niners can afford the yeah, we need to yeah, so we need to win our final three and the Eagles will final their last three. And the Vikings need to lose at least one. I don't know what the tiebreaker is, but we have the tiebreaker. So the Eagles need to lose out. The Vikings need to have the tiebreaker over the Eagles and Vikings. I don't know what the tiebreaker is. I just know we have the tiebreaker. Um,
Bizarre.
it is bizarre, but we do have the tiebreaker. Dude, imagine the Niners just steal the one seed from the Eagles after being the favorites all
Best
year.
one loss tied percentage in games played within the conference. Oh,
Oh, is that
because
what this?
The Niners lost to the Chiefs,
Yeah.
and what was
The
the other non NFC South loss?
uh,
Broncos. So you have two AFC losses, and the Eagles have
boys and
two NFC losses. So if they lost their next two games against NFC opponents, then that would be the tiebreaker. Now I get it. Okay.
take the one seed.
That's the that's such a strange tiebreaker. Okay, whatever. Whatever.
You're
But
betting
yeah,
it.
the Giants, I mean, you're playing a team with Justin Jefferson, with TJ Hawkinson, with really good tackles.
Yeah,
With a strong running game with Dalvin Cook, which the Giants defense has been horrid against the run because they have like the worst linebacking core in football. And you
yeah,
play them that close and you look like the better team despite having practice squad receivers and a horrible interior offensive line. Like Andrew Thomas was by himself. Evan Neal had one of his worst games as a pro
yeah,
so far. Like it was not pretty on offense, but somehow they were good. They were moving the ball. It was one of Daniel Jones' best passing games I've seen from him, which he's had a surprising amount of good performances. Um, but I'll take it any day. It's made me a lot more hopeful than it should have, being a loss and all.
yeah,
And the Steelers, I'm just happy. Like, yeah, they're technically still alive in the playoffs, but they have to rely on so many other things to happen. And it's not like these two teams just need to not tie. It's like this team needs to lose this game specifically and win this game specifically for like all of
yeah,
them. Because they need some really funky stuff to happen with the AFC East. Like they need a
yeah,
specific result from every remaining AFC East game. But they won on the night, like, remembering Franco Harris, commemorating the Immaculate Reception, all of that. They won in a way that kind of parallels that original game, which to me is super cool. Right? Like they scored 13 points, they won on a last second touch, not last second, but late game touchdown. Um, just all in all, like a really cool thing. Cam Hayward comes out at the start of the game, waving the flag, and then has an unreal performance. His brother sealed the game on a jet sweep, which is the Matt Canada special. Um, all right, it was one of those things where it's like it felt right. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you're having this whole commemorative game, and it went exactly like you'd want that commemorative game to go. To the scoring the same amount of points and winning on a late comeback drive, right?
yeah.
So good stuff.
Good shit. Um,
I don't want to talk about the Patriots.
I don't want to talk about the Patriots either. Fuck the Pats. We love Nick. Um,
The
let's talk about
Patriots,
the.
they're
Oh, okay.
no, they've got some stuff to figure out.
Get rid of Mac Jones. He's the issue. No, I'm kidding. Well,
I don't
I
think
don't know.
that's true, but you don't like
I
Mac
think,
Jones.
I think the coordinator is the issue. Let's be honest.
Matt Patricia, offensive guy.
No, Matt Patricia is the greatest offensive mind in NFL history. It's straight screens, bro.
All right.
Um, just like Joe Judge and Jason Garrett are some of the greatest offensive minds in NFL history as well.
Let's go Niners.
The kneel on third and like 20 on your own like 11, and the signature tight end freaking what's it called? The tight end sweep.
Look, it was a QB sneak on 3rd and 9 at like the 1 yard line.
That's what it
It was
was.
to avoid
Jeez,
a safety before then punting because Jake Fromm was the quarterback and nothing was working on offense.
God, I
It
think
made
you should
sense in the situation, but for it to get to that point is
have.
so horribly sad. But I need,
It's
at some point, we have to sit down and watch a full game replay of the Giants Bears game from last year. And, like, I don't care, stream it or something, but just
we
sit down and just
we
join me in my pain. Because
get Mike.
I am one of the very few people that went so far out of my way to watch the Giants. Like, I didn't
Yeah,
get any Giants games on TV in Pittsburgh.
I
And I
I
watched
I
them.
sometimes.
I doubt you watched that whole Giants Bears game. I watched it and
I
I
would.
was laughing to myself like a fucking lunatic the entire time because it was so sad.
I did not watch any of Jason Garrett or Joe Judge offensive master
I'm
plans
jealous.
because
Very few
just
people did.
because
There are Steelers
let me
fans that are begging for Jason Garrett to replace Matt Canada. And every time I see that, I laugh because last year I heard Steelers fans complaining about Canada last year and was like, I watch both and I'd take Canada over Garrett in a heartbeat.
dude, I want your Steelers. Hi, Jason Garrett. Hired Jason Garrett,
Dude,
bro.
and now Steelers fans are talking about wanting Leftwich. Like, have you watched the Bucks this year at all?
Oh, dude, they just want mediocre offensive coordinator,
I
bro.
Steelers fans, man, I don't understand, but you do
They
you.
just want, they just want bad offensive coordinators. All right, let's talk about the Niners real quick. Um, we still have the number one defense. Nick Bosa's looking like DPOY, and I'm gonna say just give it not maybe just give it him. Like if he plays decent the next two games, give it to him. There's I don't think there's a debate you can make for any other player besides Nick Bosa for defensive player of the year.
The only way he doesn't get it is if Parsons has a generational next 2 games. Because
Oh,
Parsons
100%.
is the only one within a distance that he could catch up.
Yeah.
And if he has a ridiculous next couple games against the Titans and Commanders, which by the way, the Commanders, very easy team to have a generational game against, and the Titans, yeah, probably the same. Um, and the
Yeah.
recency bias could kick in there, but like Bosa's definitely in the driver's seat.
Also, Nick Bosa also has 18 and a half sacks, I'm pretty sure, to date.
Hmm.
Let me check quick. No, 17. Oh, 17. Oh, they didn't count the thing.
Dude,
Oh, that
dude,
there
don't
there was
don't talk to me about not counting sacks. Oh, I'm still heated from last year.
they okay, so Nick Bosa clearly sacked the dude. The guy Heineke wasn't throwing the ball at all. He was trying I don't even know what he was trying to do, but he just wasn't throwing the ball. And Nick Bosa hits it and it goes forward, but it gets picked off as they said. The guy counted it as picking off, and it's
TJ Watt should have
um
the single season sack record.
TJ Watt?
Last year, he had a sack
No,
that was
oh, we don't,
such a clear sack that should have been attributed to him that didn't get counted as a sack.
wait, did he not have it? I swear he
He
broke
he
the
tied
record.
it.
Oh, I thought he broke it. Shit.
Well, he should have. This was like late in the
Damn.
season. This might have even been the last game. But
Should have.
he had a sack that they just didn't count as a sack and attribute to him that I'm still heated about. And obviously, like I have an interest in Strahan keeping the record too. But Watt should have had it. He had it. He
But like
got the sack, and they just didn't count it to him.
you win either way though, because you are a Steelers fan and a Giants fan.
Yeah,
You win
but
either.
it's not like I want Strahan's record to be gone, right? That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Though he should have 8 to 9. By the way, the Niners have never had a 20 sack season in the history of their franchise. So if Nick Bosa could just get 2.5 sacks in the next 2 games, which I think is extremely doable, because we're playing the Raiders and the Cardinals.
Oh, you're playing
Um,
the Cardinals?
well,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I think you just give him it. Dude, it's 5 sacks to tie the record. Like, I don't think he's gonna, but it'd be really funny if he tied the record. Or even broke it. What if he got 6 sacks in 2 games? Oh, God, that'd be hilarious. Um,
Actually, I think Alex Highsmith is going to get like 10 sacks, personally.
ah, ah, from the Broncos.
No, no, no.
Oh no, from the.
He's a Steelers. He plays
Who am I
opposite
thinking
TJ
of?
Watt.
Hold up. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
I'm thinking of
But he has
for the
12
fucking
sacks on the year. He was a bad Pro Bowl snub.
piss now. Hold up. I look like poverty. Hold up. I'm checking players' names now. Fuck. Defensive fumbles. Who? Thinking of Alex Singleton. Shit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But the Niners are the number one defense. Are the hottest team in the NFC. I think we can win the Super Bowl this year. I think Nick Bosa is winning DPOY. I think Brock Purdy can lead us to a Super Bowl. 'Cause Brock Purdy's played damn good. Like, gonna be honest, like he's played
It's
better
an
than I thought.
it's an easy system,
It's
and all I'm saying is
Purdy.
I feel like this proves my take on Garoppolo, and
Yeah.
I like Brock Purdy. I think he is the kind of quarterback that the Niners should have been pursuing the whole time.
Honest, like I think he's so mature because he's like in an
Yeah,
interview, because they're like praising, they're like worshiping the student in the
he's
interview and like his press conference,
he's
and
a
he literally
game
was.
manager. He
Yeah,
acts, but like in a good way. He acts like a
yeah,
10-year vet. He's everything the
yeah,
Niners should want in a young quarterback. I still don't know why they picked Lance. And I mean
yeah.
that
So
because Lance was such a raw, like,
yeah.
gunslinger type prospect, not anything about Lance's character or interviews or anything.
Well, Lance doesn't like act like a vet, but like he certainly like his ceiling is extremely high.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I was only talking about
and
on the
I don't
field.
think-
I can't speak on
yeah,
Lance off the field,
yeah.
obviously.
Lance Field is a class act. Like he's just as a
I
class
bet.
act. But Purdy was like they're like worshiping Purdy. And Purdy's like, guys, I'm just gonna say this. I wouldn't be here and be as good as I am without Jimmy and Trey. Like they've like helped acclimate me and they've helped me through this whole thing. So like they deserve all the credit. And I'm just like, bro, you will see. No, dude, Zach Wilson is crying because you didn't take the credit. Um, yeah, I like Purdy, I like Trey, I like Jimmy.
Wow,
Also
you like the
Georg,
players
how's
that play for your team? That's crazy.
Georg, bro? How's Georg?
Hey, hey, Georg led me to a victory this week. I have
Bro,
locked in. What?
did he lead you to a victory last week?
No.
He had 2 touchdowns last week though.
Unfortunately, the rest of my team was poo poo.
Georg is carrying, bro. All right.
Dude,
Who'd
Georg
you
picked the right time to start carrying.
how? You were already out of playoff contention.
No, I made the playoffs. I made the
Wait,
playoffs as the 5 seed.
wait, because
Literally,
of
okay.
Georg?
After trading for Georg, I did not lose a game until the first round of the playoffs. I made that trade as a joke to give up on the fantasy season. I traded Mark Andrews for George Kittle and Chris Godwin. Not only did I
Oh,
win that trade by a landslide, that trade that I made it as a joke to rebrand my team and meme the rest of the season single-handedly brought me up from like 10th place to 5th. And I'm now locked in 5th because I just won the like 5th place game because I got
Or, you know
eliminated. But
why? Because Georg Purdy likes throwing to George.
no, he does, and I'm grateful for it.
Oh my God, I'm actually so happy that George is finally being involved in the passing game, because the dude is just as good as Travis Kelce, and everyone's like, "Oh no, he's not. He's not as good." Bro is nasty
So
with it, bro.
I have a take on tight
This is
ends.
okay.
The gap between the best tight ends and just regular tight ends isn't huge in physical ability.
Yeah,
Like I've had a lot of I mean obviously if you're talking about the Steelers, there's a lot of talk about where like Pat Fryermuth ranks among tight ends. And it's all in
yeah,
the usage. Like yes, George
that,
Kittle,
yeah.
physical freak after the catch.
Oh,
And
bro,
great
dude,
blocker. But like the difference in physical ability between him and like a guy that the Giants just cut and like Chris Myrick, aside from like speed, the gap there isn't as wide as the gap between like a Justin Jefferson and some bum receiver that's on a practice squad. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
So like
Yeah,
absolutely, Kittle versus Kelsey, that is probably the closest of any kind of position debate. But I think it would be
yeah.
impossible for it not to be close if they're playing tight end.
Oh, 100%. Also, I'd just like to throw this out there that Kittle for the first like 10, 11, 12 weeks of the season was like basically a glorified offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Like he's an offensive tackle as a tight end.
You know who
And
else
I
was
don't think
supposed to
people
be an offensive tackle as a tight end? Bear Pasco in the Super Bowl, and then David Carr would have played tight end.
oh, yeah, I forgot I sent you saw that as well. I fucking love that. David's like, dude, the guy's like, did you ask Eli Manning this? And he's like, or did you tell Eli? And he's like, no, fuck no, we didn't tell him, bro. What the fuck were we telling that? But Coughlin just went up to him and was like, bro, just so you know, if Bear gets injured, you're going to tight end.
No, it
Or like
wasn't.
if
It
another,
wasn't Bear. It was a lineman.
yeah, another O tackle gets injured, Bear's going to offensive tackle, and you're going.
Because they'd already
Oh
lost two tight ends to injury in that game.
yeah, it was like the first two drives, right?
Yeah, it
So that,
was
yeah,
like Ballard and
that's
Beckham, right?
yeah, something like that. That was just freaking. Oh my God, I just love that story. All right,
Incredible.
we let's get to ours. Week 16 off player awards of the week.
Okay.
Oh, for me, offensive player of the week, I have Dak Prescott because although I and but by the way, honorable mention, I have the Panthers running game, like all, and I'll get into that. But like Dak Prescott, dude went 27 to 35, 347 yards, three touchdowns, no interceptions against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and won them that game. And dude didn't get offensive player of the week, NFC offensive player of the week, and I'm pissed about that. Um,
I
because
think the
although
person who did get it is deserving, personally.
I
But
I think he's deserving, but I like there have been times where they've split the award. Why didn't you split the award with Dak? Because Dak had like the game of his career, pretty much
I don't know about
against
game of his
the.
career. He's had a pretty good career.
But like he had like an extremely good game against the number one seed, like and won them that game. Like I don't know.
I
Uh,
think part of it is sometimes games just become offensive shootouts, and
yeah,
when the guy against you is Gardner Minshew, who's going toe to toe with you, at some
yeah.
point they kind of discredit that performance a little bit.
Okay. Well, so that's what happens with everyone
But
facing Brock, like
well, no,
like
Brock
Tom
Purdy's
Brady.
just the best quarterback in football.
Facts.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know what else there is to it personally.
dude's thrown like three interceptions and eight touchdowns in
If
like five or six.
look, if you play the Chiefs again now, 60-point victory by the 49ers.
Dude, I
They
wouldn't.
don't stand a
I,
chance. Brock Purdy's too
dude,
powerful.
I'm dead serious. I think we can win. I think if we play the Chiefs, I think we win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't care who we play. I think we can win it with Brock. Like, Jimmy makes way too many mistakes, and like that's like that. At times it's okay because the defense can like hard carry, but like he like makes like he makes mistakes at the worst time, and it's like when he does make mistakes, and it's like that's not good.
Anyway,
Bracklick doesn't
you
really.
know what? You know what happened at a
I
great
don't
time?
what.
The Panthers running back Deontay Foreman's performance against the Lions this week.
Yeah. What? Tell me his stats, Jack.
He had, I forget how many carries, maybe 21 carries for 165 yards and a touchdown. His counterpart in the backfield, Chuba Hubbard, put up 125 yards of his own, I believe.
Yep.
And they combined to absolutely murder the Lions.
Yards, I believe, is what they combined for.
Well, yeah, plus other people, it was 320, right?
It was 190, a total of 320. Yeah, it was like 43 carries for total, 320 yards, 7.4 yards per carry.
I
Two
picked
scores.
I picked Foreman because he's the lead back for them, and he's been playing actually really well this season since McCaffrey left.
Yeah.
Um, like
Well, I think
surprisingly well.
Deonta Foreman is more of a workhorse back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not.
Yeah,
He's built to the damn ball.
but
McCaffrey
he's
is
been doing
like
it
a,
so well this year. Like Foreman has been putting up numbers.
but like McCaffrey's like sometimes run, mostly pass catch.
I
Try
wasn't
not to break me.
I wasn't saying anything about McCaffrey. I was just saying that he got more opportunities when McCaffrey left.
No, no, I understand, but that's what I'm saying. It's like running the ball. McCaffrey's like kind of mediocre. Like he has vision, but like he's like mediocre. Like Deonta
Well,
Foreman
yeah,
is back truck, bro.
I don't
So
think you
like
want to run
they have
McCaffrey
different.
between the tackles too often.
Don't think you do, unless your name is Kyle Shane. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Um, or, or idea name Joe Judge, Jason Garrett. Duh.
oh
Um,
God.
he runs like one down the fucking gut until he breaks every damn thing in his
Halfback
body.
dive every play. Halfback dive every play. Halfback dive every play. Oh, Jets tight end sweep to Evan Ingram? Oh, I don't mind if I do. Um, anyway,
Girl is covered.
speaking of
Um,
tight end sweeps, I would like to discuss a Hayward. Not Connor, though he did win the game
that's
for the Steelers. Well, seal the game, not win it. Cam
right. Let's
Hayward
hear.
is my defensive
Yeah.
player of the week.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is partially emotional because he was the one who, came out of the tunnel waving the Franco Harris flag and then came
Yeah.
out and had a game. 7 tackles,
Yeah.
2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 1 pass defensed. From the defensive tackle position, that is
Yeah.
incredible performance. And
Yeah.
all the emotional side of it, right? Like you kind of add that in, and I had to give him the nod, even though obviously, as I'm sure you're gonna say, there was another person who definitely also has a case this week.
And that person is Nick Bosa. I like Nick Bosa.
Wow, wow.
Um, Nick Bosa, 2 sacks, 9 pressures, 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits, 1 forced fumble, and a 33.3 pass rush win rate. The dude was
That sounds like Kayvon
extreme.
Thibodeau's numbers against the Commanders. Now that you read them out loud, except Kayvon had like 12 tackles, I think.
Well, yeah.
That was also against the
Um,
Commanders, though. Like I don't mean to. Oh wait,
no,
huh? Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
um, good. Nick Bosa solidifying his defensive player of the year candidacy.
Absolutely.
Uh, like I, to be honest, if you told me, uh, who would win defensive player of the year, I probably wouldn't have said Nick Bosa, but I'm happy he's doing well. And Shanahan has literally said so many things about Nick Bosa, and I find it freaking hilarious that he has. Shanahan in his most recent interview was like, "Yeah, there's like, is there anything Nick Bosa could do better?" And he's like, "Yeah, he has 4 like personal fouls or whatever." Um, and I think that's the reason why he has a 99, 100 overall Madden. And I thought that was so funny because it's so clear that he doesn't play Madden. Because if he did, he'd realize that the maximum stat is 99. Um, yeah. Special teams player of the week, Brett Maher. Congratulations, Cowgirls. You got two player of the weeks for me. Went 4 for 4 in field goals, 16 total
Did you
points.
even watch their
And
game? Like, wasn't it
I
at the
watched
same
it.
time as the Niners game?
So yeah, so I watched the Niner game because actually I didn't. I was listening to it at work because I was
Oh yeah, fair
at
enough.
work. It was Christmas Eve and I was at work till 10 and I got to work at 2. So I pretty much like popped in. Oh, I shouldn't say this. I popped in your phone and played it at a low volume so I could hear the Niner game.
Oh, you're fine.
Um,
I doubt your boss
and
is watching an hour into this.
this is true. But it was fun. The Niners won, and then I went on break and saw the Eagles win versus the Cowboys. And I thought that was hilarious. So,
Alex, I'm
uh,
going to send you a picture of
yeah,
a very happy Daniel Jones.
I'm ready. All right, and Jack, who is your special teams player of the week?
Okay. It was Greg Joseph. I believe the reasoning for this is evident, and as such, my only note is, and I quote, I want to die.
Yeah. By the way, why does Daniel Jones look actually attractive in this photo?
Look, Daniel Jones
Like,
is a unit, okay?
if he's attractive though. Like, I'm
He
gonna be
he's
honest,
a
Daniel
he's
Jones.
he's a goofy white boy, but he's my goofy white boy, and I will defend him with my life. Or
Have you
just
seen like I saw like sorry, I saw this giant post and it was like legitimately like these girls like thirsty as fuck in the comment sections. They're like, "Oh my God, Daniel Jones is so hot," and I'm like,
look,
"Bro,
he's
how
he's kind of
thirsty
he's
are
kind of
you?"
goofy, sometimes you just want a goofy white boy, and Daniel Jones is
True.
that. He's the one
Yeah.
thing that he does exactly as well as Eli Manning did was be a goofy white boy. He's like
True.
he has zero personality in press conferences. He says everything you'd want him to say textbook wise. His teammates love him,
Yeah.
and he just looks goofy. Like in that
I
way,
guess
he's
that's why Brock.
exactly like Eli.
Oh my God, he's also exactly like Brock Purdy.
Dude, Brock Purdy, he's kind of a goofy white boy too, you know?
Exactly, bro. All right,
Anyway,
who's your special? What is your worst game?
Chargers versus Colts on Monday night because I watched that entire game, and I don't know why I watched that entire game because you knew going in that the Chargers were going to win. You knew going
Yeah.
in that the Colts were hopeless. And
Yep.
God, that is the most boring game I've ever seen. I just yawned thinking about it. That was so sad and slow and boring and awful in every way. Like it's not like it was
Yeah.
even it's not like it was close but boring. It wasn't
Yeah.
close and it was boring as hell.
Yeah. Um, my worst game, other than what Jack has for his reason of the best game, was the Steelers Raiders because that was a shit show. Um, I didn't watch the game because I don't want to watch the Steelers because Matt Canada,
Okay, I will
but
say that the game watching it was better than the box score would indicate.
it looked bad. Like, no, it doesn't look bad. But Jack, your best game happens to be Steelers Raiders, so let's hear your
Yes.
reason why.
Well, okay, so the first after the first drive, you kind of got the sense that it was going to be ugly. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders kind of just marched down the field and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And the Steelers looked really out of sorts. But then, the defense tightened up. The offense, I think Boswell missed two field goals because the conditions were that bad. It was snowing, it was super windy, it was the second coldest home game on record in Pittsburgh. Um, like this was very much a winter game in every sense of it.
Yeah.
Like emotions were high, even though the stadium wasn't as full as I would have liked it to be. It was still as like energized as it gets, at least in the regular season. Um, and so it was a great atmosphere. Like that came through on TV. There were a lot of emotional stakes riding on the game. And it's not like it was just the Raiders offense doing nothing. Like the Steelers defense was really good. And the Raiders defense made some really good plays too. Like I know Derek Carr was picked off 3 times, including one that basically ended the game instead of letting the Raiders come back and try to tie it or take the lead. Um, and some of those picks were insane. But like it was like tense, but things were happening. It wasn't just like close, but nobody was doing anything. You know what I mean? And obviously,
Yeah,
the cherry on top is that the Steelers take the lead late in the game, and it gets them to 13 points against the Raiders in this game, commemorating both the Immaculate Reception, which was planned, and the life of Franco Harris, which was not planned. Um, it just like it kind of storybook in a way that like that is a game that you remember for years.
yeah,
It is one for the history books. And it like the end of that game, that throw to Pickens in the snow, that interception by Cam Sutton where he looked like a receiver, that jet sweep by Connor Hayward. Those plays get remembered for way longer than they have any right to be remembered for two AFC teams with losing records, right?
yeah.
It was a good game in a week with a few good games. I mean, Giants Vikings was, a game.
Judge,
Cowboys Eagles obviously was a game,
yeah.
which go ahead.
No, I have the Cowboys Eagles as the worst game because, frankly, that is probably the greatest game I've watched in a while. Um, at least this season. Other because, yeah, I don't know. Other than Colts Vikings, that game was pretty good because of the comeback. But um, yeah, it was a good game. Cowboys won. Fuck the Eagles, and also fuck the Cowboys. Um, but yeah, it was a good game. Dak played well. Eagles lost. Niners can still get the 1 seed. Yep, that's all.
Good stuff.
All right, so let's talk about it. The Panthers and Jaguars, they have a shot at winning the division. I believe the Jaguars currently lead the division. I think they finally got. I think. Hold up. Let me check standings real quick. Give me a second. I know the Panthers are 1 game behind the Bucks, and all right. So let's talk about. Yeah, the Jaguars have the tiebreaker. So the Jaguars are 7-8. The Titans are 7-8, and the Jaguars are currently leading the division. The Jaguars in their final 2 games play the Texans. You heard that right. They play the gimme
Yeah.
games. Texans.
The though this coming week's games for the Jaguars and Titans mean nothing, I believe.
What do you mean?
Um, from what I remember, I have to check their records respectively, but I don't think it matters whether either team wins or loses this week because
Yeah.
since they have the same record now, whichever team wins in 2 weeks when they play each other will own the
Yeah.
tiebreaker, and because of
Why
that, they'll what?
why would they own the
So
tiebreak?
it's the way the tiebreaker shakes down. You're gonna have to take my word for it. But
Okay.
the Jaguars already beat the Titans this year. So if the Jaguars
Yeah.
win, they have the first tiebreaker on head to head. If the Titans
Yeah.
win, then they're even on that, and the Titans have the next tiebreaker, which might be like divisional record or something. I don't think it's.
Okay.
I forget what it is, but the Titans are, as of right now, 3-2 in the division with another game
Yeah,
to
because
play.
the Jags got beat by the Colts, and somehow the y'all got beat by the Tex. Oh fuck no, they're losing next week. Maybe not. Hopefully not. I hope they don't.
Yeah,
I
the
want
Jags
the
lost to
Jaguars.
the Colts and the Texans. So if the Jags lost to the Titans, the Titans would have fewer losses in division, even if they beat the Texans this week.
Okay.
Um, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
regardless of what
Yeah.
happens this week, um, if the Jaguars go in 7-9 or 8-8, either way, they have to win against the Titans, and it's the same thing for the Titans against the Jaguars.
Okay.
So I think actually they're gonna be the Titans are resting players against the Cowboys. Like anyone with any injury concerns is being ruled out
Okay.
because they don't need to win that game. It doesn't matter. And so they're trying to get healthy for the Jaguars game, which is the strangest thing I've ever heard. You're resting guys in week 17 to play them week 18, not like for the playoffs or anything.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Sorry, sorry, that was a bad tangent. But
Okay, that makes sense. And then the final, maybe upset, uh, is the Panthers Bucks.
oh my God, that's gonna be incredible.
Panthers beat the Bucks earlier this year,
They did do that, and that makes this game for the division.
and they didn't just beat the Bucks. They beat the brakes off them, but they beat the Bucks by 18, and they
Yeah,
won pretty convincing.
21-3.
Which means if they win this game, they are tied. Which means if either of them win or either of them lose in Week 18, the Panthers win the division.
And they
And
play the
I
Falcons. The Bucks play the Falcons, and the Panthers play the Saints after that.
and I
So
think
odds
of
are the
having
winner of this game wins the division.
yeah. Um,
That's
I think that's hilarious. I
incredible.
want the so freaking. I want the Panthers and the Jags to make so bad.
Dude, Panthers
I just
Panthers are the team of chaos.
they are. They first had Baker, then they had PJ Walker, then now they have Sam Darnold, and PJ Walker's still on this team. So, you know,
The
I
amount of
say that if Sam
times PJ
what?
Walker has the amount of times PJ Walker has started games and then gone back to the bench is
Yeah.
unbelievable for one team.
Gonna, gonna be honest though, I think you bring out PJ Walker for the Bucks game.
Sam Darnold's been playing well for them though.
Understood, but PJ Walker is the one that went 16 for 22, 177 yards and two touchdowns on the Bucks.
Who knows
So
what
I
who knows what Darnold would have done?
You know what? That's true. If Darnold can like if they're actually you know what? Fuck it. If the Panthers running game can be as consistent as it was last week and the weeks prior, Panthers win this game. If the Panthers run game goes nowhere and they have to solely rely on Darnold, I'm not saying the Panthers will lose, but I'm saying that the Bucks have a chance. But if the Panthers can run the shitting ball all over the Bucks, the Panthers are winning.
Okay.
That is my take.
All right.
Uh Let's just take a look at some other divisions. Bills obviously clinched it. Dolphins, what a fall from grace. And Dolphins might not even make the playoffs. That's sad. But that is karma for having your shitty staff. Um, Chiefs clinched the division. Chargers clinched the playoffs. So they're already a step in the right direction here, right? Um, Other news, we talked about Tua's concussion. Um, Brandon Perna is an idiot. I love you, Brandon, but you are an idiot for putting the Bills #1 on your power rankings because it's clearly the Niners and the Eagles. You can choose which one, doesn't matter. Um, the Chargers finally made the playoffs. The Raiders benched Derek Carr. You heard that right. They benched
I
Derek
think
Carr
they
after
did that for
three.
contract reasons.
I think, well, here's so they I don't know if they did that for contract reasons, but they do like gain 5 million cap next season if they cut him after in the off season,
And his
which could
salary becomes fully guaranteed if he gets injured.
yeah. So also they could also possibly get a new head coach
No,
with the
they
5 million.
Oh, with that 5 mil, that's interesting. I don't think so though.
Yeah. I don't know how deep in the hole they are next year, but if they're not that deep in the hole, I say you get rid of McDaniels as well.
Screw it,
Just
bring on Hackett. Okay.
oh, bring on Jason Garrett.
Oh God. Okay, enough of this.
The Broncos somehow did not bench Russell Wilson. Um,
I mean, they did at the end of the
but
game, right?
yeah, but bad man gone, so that's good. Bengals made the playoffs. Ravens clinched the playoffs without Lamar.
Yep.
Interesting.
But they were playing the
And then,
Falcons, so, you know.
Jaguars Titans are obviously up. for the division. In the NFC, Eagles Cowboys clinched the playoffs, but haven't clinched the division yet.
Eagles are
Will
about
the
to, assuming they beat the Saints.
Saints are winning this game? Hopefully,
Okay.
I want a shot at the. Although I'd love to see Niners Giants, I want a shot at the. I want a shot. Actually, maybe I don't. Never mind. I don't want the 1 seed. No, no, no. But I don't want us. I don't want what happened to the Packers last year to happen to us. No, fuck the 1 seed. Um, the Niners clinched the division and the playoffs. Vikings clinched the division of the playoffs, and nobody in the NFC South has clinched jack shit.
Except
Which
the
means they're
Falcons are eliminated. That's important.
Falcons. That's also yeah. Falcons are eliminated. The Saints could get the division. The Panthers could get the division. The Bucks can win the division. And then also in playoff contention is the Packers, the Lions, the Seahawks, the Commanders, the Giants. I have. I hope the Giants make the playoffs because I want to play them. Because then me and Jack will be streaming the game, and I think that'll be funny.
That would be a
Um,
great time.
no, because it'd just be me screaming in your ear the entire time.
It'd be really
Um,
funny if it went like I watched Giants Saints with Dalton last year, and the entire time I'm sitting there going, "Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. The Saints are going to win this. The Giants are so bad. There's no way they win this." And then the Giants won it in overtime. Like the whole time I was
dude,
talking
I'm
him off the ledge, and then it turns out he was right.
dude, I'm either going to like scream happily at you during the game, or I'm gonna scream just depressing shit at you. Oh
Oh,
God. Either way, it's gonna be fun. Either way, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great stream. Hopefully, the Giants can clinch the 6 seed and the Niners can clinch the 3 seed.
I beg.
I think I want to see this happen. Was anyone the Browns out of playoff contention,
Yep.
and so were the Raiders. Raiders are also out of playoff contention. Also, the fact that the Bengals
No, the Raiders aren't.
have, I think the Raiders are.
No.
Are they not?
They have a
Are they
chance.
really?
They are not mathematically eliminated.
How? How?
They need an even more specific set of things than the Steelers to happen.
How are they not? Oh,
They will be soon.
because the Pats, Jets, Dolphins,
Yeah.
Steelers, Jags are tight.
I mean, if the
Yeah.
Dolphins win one more game, both of those teams are eliminated.
How many spots is that? One, two, three, four, five. There's 7 spots. Oh, the Jaguars and Titans. Yeah, that'll take up one. Yeah, so it's the Dolphins need to win. Though I don't. They English motherfucker. They don't have Tua. Tua. Tua's not playing.
Yep. They are playing the Patriots, though.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
Tua shouldn't for the rest of the season
I agree.
because um whatever. Fuck the Dolphins. Week 14 predictions. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Who do you have for Cowboys Titans?
Cowboys.
Yep.
Just talked about how the Titans don't need to win this game and how a lot of people are out for this game. And B,
This,
the Cowboys are a machine.
the Cowboys are machine. Though I would say who's the bigger machine, the Cowboys or the Joe Judge and Jason Garrett led Giants?
Oh, obviously the Judge Garrett Giants.
Oh,
Hands down.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Also,
The
Derrick
offense,
Henry is doubtful for this game against the Cowboys tomorrow. Like,
Derrick Henry doesn't play. I also don't think Malik Willis is good. So,
so
yeah.
Tannehill's out, their starting right tackle is out, Henry's
Jack,
out, Jeffrey Simmons is out, Amani Hooker's out, Bud Dupree is out.
are these all injuries or are these all like
Injuries,
sitting?
but they may have played in a different week.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay, Falcons Cardinals.
Falcons, Cardinals. I have Cardinals.
Really?
Um, yes. I just think the Falcons are gonna falcon themselves to death. I think their city is first. I think other than The Braves, I think their city is correct. And Georgia. No, they don't play in Atlanta. What the fuck am I thinking?
They're in
They play in
Athens.
they are, hold on. Georgia plays in Georgia Lake, right?
University of Georgia is in Athens, Georgia.
That's what I thought. No. Oh yeah, no, Atlanta, Georgia. I was right. Other than the uh Georgia Bulldogs and the Atlanta Braves, that whole entire city is cursed.
The
So,
Bulldogs don't play in Atlanta. I don't know
I'm
what
just,
you're on about.
what I'm saying is they still play in Georgia.
Yeah.
Out of the teams that play in Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Atlanta Braves are safe. I think every other team in that state is just cursed. Especially the ones in Atlanta that are not the Braves. I have. Oh wait, you have the
I have the
Falcons then?
Falcons. The Cardinals are just a team.
Yeah.
That's it.
Um, I have the I have the Patriots over the Dolphins. I'm gonna go for the Patriots. Matrix, this one's for you. I'm going with the Patriots. I want the Steelers to make the playoffs, so I'm gonna
I
go with this.
I have the Patriots, but only because of the Tua stuff. This
Yeah,
team
that
in
also.
games without Tua has been maybe worse than the Texans.
And to be honest, I wrote my predictions before I knew Tua had a concussion.
Well, it doesn't
So
look like it changed anything.
it really didn't. I have the Eagles over the Saints.
Shocker. I do too. They have the
I'm
chance to clinch the division and the one seed a week early,
mhm.
and there's no reason for them not to play hard here. And this is a Saints team that is awful, awful.
Yeah, they've been lucky they've won like the past 1 or 2 weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, and the only reason they won in Cleveland was because of like weather stuff. Like it was 17-10.
Yeah, like, and Deshaun Watson is complete dog shit. Thankfully,
Yep.
fuck you. Just
But I don't see a way that this Eagles team manages to lose to the Saints.
yeah, I don't see. Um, I have the Giants over the Colts.
I do too.
I think
The
that's
one thing that scares me though is it's one of those things where like every single ESPN analyst picked the Giants, so now the Colts obviously are gonna win. That's just how that
ESPN.
goes.
No, 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 it's fine, it's fine.
But
I have the
it's I don't see, especially because they've committed to Nick Foles starting again. I don't see how the Colts win this game. Like yeah, the Colts just played the Vikings close theoretically, as close as the Giants played the Vikings, if you want to be technical about it. But this Colts team, man, I don't even know what to say about them. It's bad.
they blew a 33-point lead to the Vikings. They can blow a 81-point lead to the Giants.
80 what? They're going to score 81
Yeah.
points?
And they're gonna blow it in the fourth quarter.
Look, it's been like 3 seasons since the Giants have scored 30 points in a game. So, let's just
So
hope for
impressed.
30.
You serious? Wait,
Yeah, it's one of those statistical things that's just funny.
that's
It's
just a,
well, it's kind of the opposite of this whole Saints shutout thing where like it's bound to happen at some point. It's just a mixture of luck and other stuff that it hasn't happened by now.
nope. I'm speaking in existence. It's happening this week.
Well, so it should have happened like 3 times already this season. I mean, the Ravens game is the best example of it. Saquon kneeled it at the 1 when the Giants had 24 points and ran
Um,
out the clock instead of scoring a touchdown to go up 2 scores and kick the ball back. Like every
that's
time they've
true.
gotten close to 30 points, they've taken their foot off the gas and not scored it. But
Damn.
this week it happens.
This
Speaking
week
it
it
into
happens.
existence.
This week it happens. I have the Panthers over the Bucks. I really hope the Panthers win.
I
I want
have
them to win this.
I have the Bucks. I've been taught not to bet against Tom Brady.
We've gone over this. You and May have bet with Tom Brady, and I've bet against him like three times this year, and I've won
Okay,
two of them. So
look. I also don't want to both pick the Panthers.
you want one over me in case for record reasons, right?
Yeah,
Is that
maybe. Maybe.
okay? That's what I thought. Um, Defaulto, Batman gone for me,
Yep.
May and Jack. Broncos.
Yep.
Back country, let's ride. Batman gone, Broncos gonna win. I have the Bears over the Lions, mostly because I kind of like Justin Fields, and I don't want the Lions to win, so the Giants can make the playoff.
I have the Lions. I don't want the Lions to win, but have you watched the Bears?
I have, and I think the Lions' defense is garbage, and Justin Fields will run out.
The Bears right now are cruising towards the first overall pick if the Texans can win another game.
No, technically, no, but yes, I see where you're coming from. I just don't think the Texans will relinquish that. But I see where the Bears are bad. I understand.
Very.
I don't want the Lions to win, so
Well,
I'm
don't the
picking the
Texans play
Bears.
the Colts week 18?
Yeah.
So,
Are they
you know,
Texans?
um I have the Commanders
True.
over the Browns because I hate
I
the Browns.
fuck the Browns. Fuck the Browns. Your garbage poverty ass franchise should be. You know what? I hope your I Browns. I hope your team moves. I hope your team relocates. Not because the fans are shit. The fans are decent. But because I don't want the Browns to be called. Just rename them and relocate them to like Seattle is a team. I'm thinking NBA. Relocate them to
OKC.
Oakland. No, just relocate them to Oakland and become the Oakland Re-Raiders. Or the Oakland Steelers. Wait, shit. No, no, no. But like Steelers as an
Okay,
Stealers.
I have the Jags beating the Texans.
Um, I also have the Jags beating the Texans. Even though they didn't earlier in the season, that offense is going, and it's yeah. I think the
Yeah.
Jags are gonna win. I have the Raiders over the Niners for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, I have the Niners for also obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons being I don't want to pick the Niners because that bad juju. I have the Jets over the Seahawks because I also want the Seahawks to lose because I don't want them making the playoffs. Because if they make the playoffs, I don't know, they're gonna lose in the first round, but I don't want them making the. Screw that. I want to be the only team in the division to make the playoffs.
I have the
You know?
Seahawks, but only because the Jets are stinky and bad. Um,
Yeah, but
the Jets are favored, so you know.
yeah, Jets also play better when it's Mike White. So I have the Vikings over the Packers because fuck the Packers. I don't want
I
them to make the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest. I base most of my picks off of clickbait sports members, and I kind of want to see Tom Grossi cry on stream because his team didn't make the.
I have the Packers, but only because it's too convenient for the NFL to have Aaron Rodgers fighting for a playoff spot until the last week of the season, and
This.
it is also two Vikings to lose this game.
Yeah. No, but like you can't say that because then the Niners will be the 2 seed, and that means the Giants need to be the 7 seed.
Okay, so I'll just be wrong.
You better be wrong. I swear to God, Jack. If the Packers lose, I swear to God.
It's
Or if the
happened
Packers win.
before, and it'll happen
Uh,
again.
I have the Rams over the Chargers. And Baker Mayfield is on
What?
freaking fire.
Okay.
Oh, Baker Mayfield's on fire. That's all I gotta say. Go Baker Mayfield. I love you.
Look, you want to give me the Chargers? I'll take them, hands down. Give me the Chargers.
The
10,
Baker
10 times
Mayfield.
out of 10.
I used to think Baker Mayfield was hella overrated. I am now a fan, even though he's on my rival team.
Have you considered Justin Herbert?
Have you considered Baker Mayfield, bro? He's playing elite. I have the Steelers because fuck the Ravens.
I have the Ravens because this is a game where I just can't pick the Steelers. I want the Steelers to win. I would love for the Steelers to win. But I feel like if I pick them, they'd lose. And I don't know what happens if I'll pick the Ravens, but let's find out.
All right, let's go. I have the Bills over the Bengals. The I think they're gonna bungle, to be honest.
So I have the Bills as well, but I would not be surprised at all if the Bengals win this. I don't know what
I
happens when they play like really good offenses, but somehow like against the best teams is when the Bengals look good, and they look awful against all the other teams.
Bro, the Chiefs. All right, sorry. Um, yeah. I think the Bengals have a chance to win it. I just have a small gut feeling that they're gonna bungle themselves and lose. But quote me on that if I'm wrong. Please berate me when I'm wrong, because I think it'll be funny. All right. And that is our picks.
Right? Any final thoughts?
Final pick. Fuck the Cowgirls.
Giants playoff bound for the first time since 2016.
No,
Alex,
not just play. Giants Niners playoff game for
Alex,
the first since 2011. Yeah, what's up?
I have a question for you.
What's poppin', Shoddy?
Will this be better or worse than the last Giants playoff game?
Well, the last Giants playoff game ended the game because freaking what's his name? I forget. Ted Ginn Jr. got injured. We fumbled the ball in the punt, the
I'm not
game-winning
talking
punt.
about Giants Niners. I'm talking about Giants Packers in 2017, technically, I think.
Um, why Giants Packers?
That was the last Giants playoff game. I
Well, well, I think the Niners are gonna blow out the Giants if they play, but like,
What will it
I
be?
think
Will it be like 38 to 3 or whatever the hell?
it's gonna be 7-0. No, I'm kidding. To be honest, I don't really know what the score is. I just hope that the Niners blow them out by like 35. Although I am a part-time Giants fan, as I call it, because I'm a Giants fan because of Jack.
Watch
I'll
it
be
be like
rooting for.
a watch it be like a 3-point game.
I would cry.
Hey Alex,
Yeah, what's up?
so I know that you know that this was the case at some point, but
Okay.
the last Giants playoff game, the 11 and 5 Giants lost to the 10 and 6 Packers 38-13 in Lambeau.
Okay.
7 of the Giants' 13 points were off the foot of which kicker?
Oh fuck. I don't. It's not Graham Gano because he got there recently. It's Robbie Gold.
Yes.
Yeah. I love Robbie Gold. He's the Niners kicker. He's my kicker now.
Good job.
By the way, he's never signed into career points. Like I never heard of that dude until he got signed by the Niners. So,
Well, because he was the
uh,
Bears kicker for a while, right?
yeah, he was a Bears kicker and then he was a Giants kicker and then he got released by the Giants, then immediately signed by the Niners,
By the
which
way,
I'm happy. What's up?
that Giants Packers playoff game, I'm looking back at it. That was like an even game until pretty much the fourth quarter.
Interesting.
Like with
So
with
you're
4.5 minutes left in the third, it was 13-14 Packers ahead, with the Packers having a 53% win probability. Of course, it ended 38-13, but like it was a closer game than it should have been.
oh, so the Giants didn't blow the blow them. Yeah, no, they did
Well, they
still.
did. Odell Beckham had a horrible, horrible game. I
If
don't
you
think he'd
watch,
ever played in true cold before. He had 4 catches on 11 targets for 28
played,
yards.
dude played at LSU. There's no and like
He was
where did he
from
live?
he's from like New Orleans.
Yeah,
Played at
there's
LSU.
no single ounce of cold before in his life. He's not from Connecticut. He's not from Maine. He's not from Mass. Like no, he did not feel a single ounce in his life before until that game. And
Anyway,
actually, no, that's because he did play in New York City because he wasn't on
yeah,
the.
but he didn't play in the playoffs. And Lambeau in January is different than, New York in September, October.
Did perform well in Lambeau in January.
What?
Fonga D's nuts.
True.
Dude saved the Niners.
Anyway,